The altercation that ensued between Nwaebonyi, the senator representing Ebonyi North Central, and Mrs. Obi at the Senate chambers during the hearing of the petition filed by Senator Natasha against Akpabio is generating controversies across the nation. The senator has shared his own side of the story. He noted that the woman asked him to shut up while he was addressing presiding officer during the petition hearing. He insisted that he is a senior citizen when compared to Mrs. Obi Ezekwesili, noting that he is a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and as such, he deserves utmost respect from Obi Ezekwesili.
A heated argument started today's hearing of Senator Natasha Akpotu-Uduaghan's sexual harassment allegations against President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio. At the heart of the exchange were Senator Onyekachi Nwaebonyi, the Deputy Whip of the Senate, and the former Minister, Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, who was there as a witness. They became extremely hostile to each other, and it eventually degenerated into a shouting match, with both sides raining insults on one another. Take a look.
What is that to respect yourself? Shut up and take him out. Smell him out. Smell him out. Look like a dog. Look at you. Big fool. Fool at 70. Fool at 70.
I take exception to a senator.
Why are you talking to me like that?
You are a disgrace to the Senate.
You are an insult to womanhood.
You are
an insult to womanhood. And you are here to tell the world that you have not changed.
You cannot
You are
violate
here to tell the world that you have not changed.
You
At 70, you have not changed.
You are a
I'm expecting to take it. I will not take it.
a scoundrel.
I will not take it.
To insult.
That is why you can never be here. People like you can never be here. People like you can never be here. How can you be? How can you be a fool?
I'm not a hooligan.
You are a hooligan.
You are a hooligan. So you will be
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman.
The Senate committee chair.
Chairman of the committee. Chairman of the committee.
And you say I should keep my mouth shut. Who are you to say so?
Chairman.
Who are you to say so?
Chairman
Who are you?
Okay, I'll put that.
And you refuse.
Chairman of the committee.
Mr. Chairman, sir. Mr. Chairman, sir. Mr. Chairman, sir.
Chairman of the committee.
Mr. Chairman,
Chairman of the committee.
Mr. Chairman.
Chairman of the committee. Chairman of the committee. Chairman of the committee. Hello. Chairman of the committee. Hello. Chairman of the committee. My distinguished colleagues and the petitioner and those who came to defend the petition. I am Senator Ekun. I move a motion that we adjourn this meeting because...
Well, we'll speak to Senator Onyekachi Nwaebonyi in a few minutes, but first, let's take a look at what Dr. Ezekwesili had to say a little earlier on Prime Time.
Senators still insisted that, in fact, the word they used was, we're serious, we do serious things here. We don't have time for unserious things. At which time I had my hand up and I said, I actually think that that's a wrong use of word. We are not unserious people. And this is a serious matter. And, many conversations carried on. Eventually, the Senate Ethics Committee decided that, based on the fact that the petitioner was saying that he wasn't going to go into his main petition until they assured him on the two objections that he had. They said, and that it meant that we were not ready to engage on the matter. And then suddenly also said, oh, by the way, this matter is sub judice because there are two cases in court they mentioned the case by the wife of the Senate president, and that on the basis of that, they actually really shouldn't. So it was at that time that Dr. Abiola said, then what was the basis of...
Yeah, what's the point of being here, of convening this hearing?
And while all of that was going on, then this senator, whom I will not acknowledge by mentioning his name at all.
Well, his name is Senator Nwaebonyi.
That's okay. But, you know, he then said, well, if they're not serious about giving any testimony, I am here representing the Senate president as a respondent, and that I am prepared to speak because, you know, we can't continue with this. So I said to him, can you please shut up? Because, I mean, we were just told that we couldn't speak, and you have been speaking without any form of an equivalent treatment. Said we couldn't speak because we were not ready to go into any conversation without the objections being addressed. So when I said that,
So let me just get this. You said to him to shut his mouth.
Yes.
And that was what provoked the Senate.
He was already provoked.
Right.
He was already provoked because he spoke.
But it went from being a spark of a tinder box into a roaring flame.
Precisely. So he was already provoked by the fact that he felt we were not serious.
Right.
He said, in fact, part of what inflamed it was that the petitioner then said, oh, by the way, it is this senator that made a lot of statements about my senator and in words that were not complimentary.
Well, Dr. Obi Ezekwesili a moment ago on Prime Time with Charles Anyogolu, and for a fair, balanced report as we do here. Let's bring in Deputy Chief Whip of the Senate, Senator Onyekachi Nwaebonyi, for his response. Senator, you heard her account of what happened today. You were already provoked before she acknowledged, she told you to shut up.
I was not provoked. Provoked by who?
So what happened?
Well, the fact speaks for itself. You watch the video, and you can see what led to the altercation, and which, of course, at the end of the day led to the vulgar abuse from both of us, because respect is earned, is not commanded. If you respect me, I respect you. You yab me, I yab you.
You don't think a person of Obi Ezekwesili has earned her respect?
I'm a senator of the Federal Republic. By social stratification, I'm higher than her in this country. Really? She's supposed to respect me. She was a minister. A senator is bigger than a minister.
And a global figure too.
I'm a global figure too.
With the World Bank.
I'm a global figure too. I've been a chairman of World Bank program in Nigeria.
Honestly,
but let me come before we go into that.
I'm expecting that you would look at that, what happened in that panel, and have maybe some kind of do you regret that situation?
How can I regret?
Do you regret that situation? Are you saying that you meant the statement when you said Obi Ezekwesili is an insult to womanhood and a hooligan, and use all kinds of adjectives that
are not willing to use? But did you hear what she said first? Can you tell me what she said, which is you recorded before now? Can you repeat what she said?
Looking back at that.
Yes. Can you repeat exactly what she said? No, I'm asking you. You interviewed her first, and she admitted here before the whole world that she asked me to shut up. And you heard her also saying that I'm a disgrace to the Senate. What is your reaction to that?
Was that the best way as a senator?
No, I'm asking you.
Was that the best way to handle that situation in that moment?
No, you have to answer my question first.
No, I'm here to ask.
Is it good, that statement, is it good from her, former minister of the Federal Republic, addressing a sitting senator, a principal officer of the Senate, inside the Senate building, that I should shut up my mouth, that I'm a disgrace to the Senate? I want you to react to that first before I answer you.
All right, Senator, because of one
you have to react to that.
I have absolutely no
reaction. Forget about it.
Let's move this conversation forward, Senator. Dr. Obi Ezekwesili admitted she told you to shut up. She also said you were provoked.
By who?
Already. Well, that's her account.
She can't speak for me. I was not provoked.
And that's why I'm asking you the question.
Now, let me lay a background.
Great.
Let me lay a background.
Yes.
We are here for fact findings. What happened was that we were all there to prove our cases. She was for the complainant, which is Senator Natasha. They were called upon at the first instance to be on oath so that they can testify. She said no, she can't be on oath. The same thing with the lawyer that she came with. At the end of the day, I now said to the presiding officer that if they are not ready to go on improving their case, that we are ready to put up our defense, because they have also served us with a petition, with an affidavit. And I was addressing the presiding officer. I was not addressing my sister, Obi Ezekwesili. I was addressing the presiding officer. If what I'm saying is out of point, it is the presiding officer that will rule me out of order, not a co-witness like me. So that is what I'm saying. Respect is earned. She has no right to talk to me. And to talk to me in that way, for me to shut up my mouth, it means that she's not mature.
Okay.
She got to her level by accident.
Senator, because she's not here to now defend herself again, Senator Nwaebonyi.
She has admitted publicly, and having done so, I commend her. And I must tell you, I regret my choice of words to her.
That's
because
fantastic.
she's old enough to be my mother.
Great.
She's old enough to be my mother. But like I said, it is an action that brought up my reaction. But having admitted publicly that she said so, I give it to her.
That's the spirit. And you have also admitted that she's your sister. You've called her your sister twice.
Of course, she is.
But let's go back to this hearing. This hearing was about a fresh petition from Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. But it ended abruptly because of the shouting match we saw earlier, unfortunately.
It's not true. You didn't watch to the end.
So what happened?
You had a ruling.
There was a ruling. Why that ruling?
Well, the ruling is that at the end of the day, if you present a petition and they're unable to prove it, they raise the issue of bias, that the committee is biased. And we also looked at our rules. If somebody is before you, is raising the issue of bias, you shouldn't continue. And moreover, going by our rules, if a matter is already in court, we are handicapped. We can't go into the hearing of the matter. So we said, okay, hence the matter is in court, let's wait for the court of law to adjudicate on the matter before we can go on. So that was our ruling, and everybody dispersed.
And so when would be the next sitting? When, I mean, you've crossed all of this
after court ruling.
The
matter is in court.
After court ruling. Okay, let me still, you know, coming back, of course, the issues are very, very important, very germane.
Yes.
Let's talk about the fact that within the last 2 months, okay, let's just say since February, you've had, you know, situations where you've had some kind of face-off, you know, with women. Aren't you concerned that, you know, Nigerian women may be put off from, you know, going into politics with all the events, with the Natasha situation, and now you have, you know, Ezekwesili and all other issues. Are you concerned about that?
Well, the fact is that I'm one of those senators that have been supporting women emancipation and women participation in politics. But like I said on Arise in Lagos last time, the attitude of Senator Natasha and some of her cohorts in trying to prove the impossible may not help Nigerian women, you know, in politics. Because nobody, no man, as I speak to you, I'm a very open person, no man will be willing or bold enough to appoint a woman to be close to her in the office because of likelihood of raising false alarm, just like Senator Natasha. And that goes to the past of Senator Natasha. This is the same woman.
You're concluding there's a false alarm.
It's a false alarm. It's complete falsehood. Because I was there on the alleged date of 8th day of December 2023, when the alleged sexual harassment took place. I drove with Senator Natasha. I was the closest person to Senator Natasha because the husband is my friend. We drove in the same vehicle from Victor International Airport to the house of the Senate President. I was on the front seat while Natasha and her husband was at the back seat. When we go to the house of the Senate President, we were entertained by the Senate President with the wife and the children, with over 20 senators. There was never a time the Senate President harassed the Senator Natasha sexually. That is just my annoyance. I was there till the end of the day. At 12 midnight, we all sang Bedo's song, you know, in honor of the Senate President. And at the very end, I drove in the same vehicle with Senator Natasha and her husband back to a 4 Points Hotel, Ikotekbene. There was no iota of sexual harassment, either from the Senate President or from any other person.
So you were with them all of 24 hours?
True.
24 hours of the day?
True. In the morning, I woke up with the husband. We had a walk around the hotel. There was no such issue. On the following day, she made a tweet in Twitter commending the Senate President, thanking all the Senate, because she was about 2 months old. She was even afraid of coming to the Senate President. She was very new in the Senate, so she was still learning the ground. So that's why when I speak on top of my voice.
Even
because
the
this is
hands, even the holding
there
of hands.
was nothing like that. That was.
She did say they walked ahead of others. Were you also there when they walked ahead of others?
I was there. She was always with her husband, holding hands with her husband. And let me ask you, who is that man that will toast another person's wife in the presence of the husband? In your family house. You know, when you want to cook up lies that are believable.
Are you saying it's impossible, totally impossible? That
is it not that it is impossible, it's just that it never happened. And she knows that. Let me tell you. Do you know the cause of this false allegation? Because she lost a committee chairman on local content, which she may, for her reasons, very comfortable with. And she called another senator, telling the senator that he should tell the Senate President that if he fails to return her as chairman Senate Committee on local content, that she's going to cook up an allegation against the Senate President. And this is what is happening.
So you're saying this is a cooked up, contrived...
It goes without saying.
All right.
Now, let me tell you why. Has she been able to controvert this, my narration, as to what happened on 8th of December 2023?
Does anybody come prepared for sexual harassment?
Pardon?
Does anybody come prepared? A woman, for example, if you were to sexually harass me, yes, are you saying that I would know beforehand that you had such plans? And so I should have some kind of,
somebody
device
at your level,
to record the
somebody
situation?
at your level,
yes,
let alone a senator. Nobody can harass you sexually in public. Nobody. A sitting senator that should be speaking for the right of the younger generation. There are things you cannot contemplate.
You speak like senators are not humans.
Who will harass a senator?
But let me ask.
And what did you do? And why did you wait until almost 2 years later? It's only when your committee was changed that you remember that you were sexually harassed. He didn't report to the police. He didn't report to the committee. He didn't report to me, your husband's friend, that was with you that night, that was with you the following day. For 3 days, I was with you.
Senator Nwaebonyi.
But I have a question. I mean, Ngozi had earlier raised public perception, particularly for women and the Nigerian Senate. And we've heard a lot of senators speak out about how this particular controversial matter has put a dent to the image of this Nigerian Senate.
He has not put a dent
but
on the
your
image
colleagues,
of the Senate. He has put a dent on the image of the blackmailer, Senator Natasha.
But
let's keep us straight.
Senator
How can you say put a dent on the Senate
for
what?
It is not my words.
In which way have we erred? Have we breached our rules?
Senator Nwaebonyi, these are not my words.
You've not given her fair hearing.
When she was invited twice to come and prove her case, and she absconded.
Deputy Chief Whip, you've not heard my question. You haven't heard my question. And these are not my words. Yeah. We can play the tape for you. Yeah. A lot of senators have spoken to say this was a very trivial matter that escalated and has put a dent on the Senate's...
what type of dent?
I don't know. I mean, it's controversial.
What type of dent?
It's your colleagues
that a habitual liar is lying against the presiding officer, and they expect us to keep our mouth shut.
Deputy Chief Whip, so you are not in any way concerned about public perception of the Nigerian Senate at the moment?
I'm not concerned at all because we're doing our job.
Not even the perception.
We're doing our job.
Not even the perception, distinguished senator, that.
All these things are being framed by the opposition. Can't you see them?
Hold on.
Can't you see people behind it?
Aren't you concerned too that the world may be looking at Nigerian men as condescending and bullying of Nigerian women?
It's not true. We have replied her. She went to BBC. I replied them on BBC, and they have the facts. Anywhere she has gone, I've replied her, following her up to clear the coast and let the world know.
Some Nigerians are asking for disciplinary action against you based on today's
based on what? Yes. Based on what? They should first ask for disciplinary action against Ezekwesili for asking me to shut up my mouth.
All right.
For saying that I'm a disgrace to the Senate. Let them discipline her first.
Okay.
We'll have to leave it there. Senator Nwaebonyi is Deputy Whip of the Senate. Thank you for joining us.
God bless you. But I expect you to protect the truth.